This is Miss Tasha again, and you know, you gotta remember Miss Tasha's getting old, and so I actually forgot my wonderful bear with I love chocolate, so you just have imagined that he's standing there. But remember, I do love purple, of course. What can I say? I love purple. Even my clipboard is purple. And I do love chocolate. And remember, the little bear would say, I love chocolate. And of course, my infamous voice. Now, today, I am doing something very special. I am going to read you all the books that I'm going to read or show you. I'm going to show you a lot of books. They are all Caldecott Award winners. That means they would have a gold medal on it, or an honor book, which would be a silver medal. Because these books are annually recognized from the previous year's most distinguished American picture book for children. It is awarded by the Association for Library Service to Children. The medals are considered to be the most prestigious American book awards, and also a variety of citations to the runner-up that they deem worthy, called the honor books. It started 83 years ago in 1938. To be eligible for this award, it must be published in English in the United States and drawn by an American illustrator. Now, you aren't going to believe this, because remember, I had a wonderful mother. I actually have, from 1938, one of the honor books for that year, Andy and the Lion. It was written and illustrated by James Doherty, 1938, The Viking Press. Okay, now, you guys, this is so old, it's yellowed. It is yellowed. And see, it even has water stains, and oh my gosh. But you guys, it's a wonderful book. And this is an honor book. Okay. All right, here we go. I have to be very careful because it's so old, okay? It was a bright day with just enough wind to float a flag. And he started down to the library to get a book about lions. He took the book home and he read and read, and he read all through supper, and he read all evening, and just before bed, and just before bedtime. I mean, he really liked a book about lions. Okay. But if you want you to know, his father, see this, you guys, I gotta be so careful with it. His father is reading the paper and it says, Lion escapes circus. Uh-oh. Well, his grandfather told him some tall stories about hunting lions in Africa, and every story ended with, and then I gave them both the barrel. Oh no. Well, that night, Andy dreamed all night long that he was in Africa hunting lions when at last morning came. See, he's thinking all that. Well, Andy woke up, the sun was looking in at the window, and the prince was tugging at the bedclothes. The lions had left, but Andy kept thinking about them. Andy thought lions on the back porch, and then his father had to remind him to wash behind his ears. Do you ever get reminded to wash behind your ears? And Andy was still thinking about lions after breakfast when his mother gave him his hair a final brush, and Andy started off to school. Part 2. Okay. Well, Andy walked along, swinging his books and whistling a tune, and then he came to the turn in the road, and he noticed, anybody see that? It's a tail. He noticed something sticking out from behind the big rock. Just at the bend, it looked very queer, so Andy and Prince crept up cautiously to investigate. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It moved! It was a lion! At this moment, oh no! Andy thought he'd better be going. And so he starts running. Well, the lion thought so too, and they ran around the rock And they ran into each other. Oh my goodness. Whichever way Andy ran, there was the lion. Whichever way the lion ran, there was Andy. At last, they both stopped for a breath, and the lion held out his paw to show Andy what was the matter. It was a big thorn stuck in his paw. But Andy had an idea. He told the lion just to be patient, and they'd have that thorn out in no time. Fortunately, Andy always carried his pliers in the back pocket of his overalls. So he took them out and got a tight grip. Oh, look at the lions crying, guys. And Andy braced one foot against the lion's paw, and he pulled with all his might until the thorn came out. Look at, yeah! And they're going every which way. Aren't the illustrations wonderful? See why this was an honor book? The grateful lion licked Andy's face to show how pleased he was. But it was time to part, so they waved goodbye. Andy went to school, and the lion went off about business that lions do. All right, part 3. Here we go. In the spring, the circus came to town. Look at that, all the elephants. Of course, Andy went. He wanted to see the famous lion act. Right in the middle of the act, the biggest lion jumped out of the high steel cage with a terrible roar. He dashed straight toward the people. They ran for their lives, and in the scramble, Andy found himself right in the lion's path. He thought his last moment had come, but then, I bet you already know, don't you? Who should it be but Andy's own lion? They recognized each other, and they danced for joy, and when the crowd came back ready to fight the lion and capture him, Andy stood in front of the lion and shouted to the angry people, "Do not hurt this lion, he's a friend of mine." Well, then the next day, Andy led the lion and all of the people in a grand parade down Main Street. The city hall, there was a mayor. The mayor presented Andy with a medal for bravery, and the lion was very much pleased. And the next day, Andy took the book back to the library, with the lion, of course, following him. The end. Wasn't that wonderful? I know. All right, now, just to let you know, I'm just going to show you today some books, because there's just, you guys, when I realized how many books my mother had collected for me over the years, I just kind of went, wow. Okay, this one is an honor book from whoa, wait a minute, no. This is an honor book from 1940, and it's called Make Way for Ducklings. And look at this, it's with all the little ducklings and everything. Isn't that darling? I know. So that's that one. This is, can you tell how old it is? Look at how old it is. This is Madeline. Oh my God. This was this was a winner. This has a gold one. Make Way for Ducklings was a winner. This one is an honor one in 1940. And so what I'm going to do in 1953, this was a winner. This was Madelines Rescue. And I'm going to read this one. Illustrated by Ludwig Bemelmans, Scholastic Incorporated Division of Penguin Books. And I just love this, because of course you know I have these books. In an old house in Paris, that was covered with vines, lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter snow. When to the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Poo-poo." And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel, until one day she slipped and fell. Oh no! Poor Madeline would now be dead. Look at her, there she is. She's sinking, guys. She's sinking. But for a dog that kept its head and dragged her safe from a watery grave. With all people watching, yes. Can't get it turned. Here it goes. Oh my. From now on, I hope you will listen to me. So they brought the dog home, and of course they had to wash the dog. And here's a cup of chamomile tea. Good night, little ones. And of course, where's the dog? The dog is sleeping with Madeline. Good night, dear Miss Clavel. I hope you all sleep well. But Miss Clavel turned out the light, and after she left, there was a fight and about where the dog should sleep that night. There was a new pupil, was ever so helpful and clever. Look at, he even is balancing blocks, and it says cat. The dog loved biscuits, milk, and beef, and they named it Genevieve. She could sing and almost talk, I can imagine her singing, and enjoyed the daily walk. Of course, Madeline gets to walk it. Soon the snow began to fly, and inside it was warm and dry, and 6 months passed quickly by. And when the 1st of May came near, there was nervousness in the air because they get to go their walk again. For on that day there arrived a collection of trustees from the annual inspection. The inspection was most thorough, much to everyone's sorrow. Tap, tap! Whatever can that be? Tap, tap! Come out and let me see. Dear me, it's a dog! Isn't there a rule that says dogs aren't allowed in school? Miss Clavel, get rid of it, please, said the president of the board of trustees. Yes, but the children love her so, said Miss Clavel. Please don't make her go. I dare say, said Lord Cuckoo Face. I wonder if that really is his name. I mean, it's a perfect disgrace for young ladies to embrace this creature of uncertain race. Off with you! Go on, run, scat! Go away and don't come back! Oh no. Madeline jumped on the chair. Lord Cuckoo Face, she cried, beware! Miss Genevieve, noblest dog in France. Oh, Genevieve is noblest dog in France. You shall have your vengeance. It's no use crying or talking. Let's get dressed and go out walking. The sooner we're ready, the sooner we'll leave, the sooner we'll find Miss Genevieve. Nice of Miss Clavel. They went looking high and they went looking low. And every place a dog might go, in every place they called her name. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at all the dogs. But no one answered to the name. The gentleman, the gendarmes said, we don't believe we've seen a dog like Genevieve. Hour after they had started, they came back home broken-hearted. Oh, Genevieve, where can you be? Genevieve, please come back to me. That's little Madeline saying that. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, something is not right. And an old street lamp shed its light on Miss Genevieve outside. She was petted, she was fed, and everybody went to bed. Good night, little girls. I hope you can, of course, remember she's under Madeline's place. Good night, dear Miss Clavel. Miss Clavel turned out the light, and again there was a fight as each little girl cried, Genevieve is mine tonight. For a second time in the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light. And afraid of a disaster, she ran fast and even faster. If there's one more fight about Genevieve, I'm sorry, but she'll have to leave. That was the end of the riot. Suddenly, all was quiet. For the third time that night, Miss Clavel turned out the light. And to her surprise, she found that suddenly there were enough hounds to go around. So everybody had their own puppy, and then Madeline had Genevieve the mom. I know, isn't that a cute one? I know, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to show you some more. This one is very important to me. Okay, this is the honor book from 1945. This is Tasha Tudor, that's the lady, remember who I was named for, Mother Goose. And here's the book, and you have to see this. this is the Little Bo Peep, because it's all, you know, the Mother Goose stories. Well, you know what? When I was born, before I was born, Miss Tasha Tudor wrote my mother and said, if you have a daughter, and you name her Tasha, because my mother wrote to her about me. She was hoping that it was me. She said, I would like to name her Tasha. So this lady, when I was growing up, would send all these wonderful things. And that picture that you just saw, this is the original watercolor from that book. And it says, to Tasha Rowe, from her affectionate godmother, Tasha Tudor. Isn't that something? I know, very special. Very, very, very special. Okay, I have to be very careful because this is an old book. Okay, another honor book is Stone Soup. If you haven't heard this book, it is really funny, and maybe sometime I'll read it. It's all the things this young whippersnapper has this old lady put in her soup, and it ends up to be a really good soup, but it all starts with a stone. And of course, you all know this one, I think. This one is Five Little Monkeys. It was an honor book. All right, Stone Soup was in 1945. 1953 is Five Little Monkeys and everything. And you all know that one, Five Little Monkeys, you know, playing on a bed. One flew out and the other one said, you know, it's really cute. But now, this one is probably one of my all-time favorite books. And you know what? I think I might read to this. I'm going to have to look back up whether I have read this to you or not. If not, I'm going to read this to you next month. Because it's what all of you should do for new kids that come to your school. And they might not talk the same, they might not act the same as kids you know, but this is a really good book. And it was the honor book in, the honor book in 1956. And the nice thing, because I had a wonderful mother, guess what? It was autographed to Eula Crowboy, and that's the author by Taro Yoshima. I know. All right, so the next one is, and I did this last month. What do you say, my dear? And I remember it was all the crazy things, you know, the polite things you're supposed to do. And the author was Cecily Jocelyn, but the pictures, remember that's what the Caldecott one, this was the winner in 1959, is Maurice Sendak. Okay? All right, now I am going to read to you the winner from 1964, Where the Wild Things Are. And this is by the story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. It is from 1964, HarperCollins Publishers. And this, you guys, is the 50th anniversary edition winner of the Caldecott Award. Isn't that amazing? See, and it even says, winner of the Caldecott Award for the most distinguished picture book of the year. And it is beautiful. And here we go. All right. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. Oh dear, he is a little kid that does things. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, I'll eat you up. And he was sent to bed without eating anything. Uh-oh. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Oh my word. And grew. Look at that look on his face. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by the private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Ew, look at that. Okay. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with a magic trick of staring into all of their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all. And they made him the king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Oh, look at him, and it's of course a full moon. Oh my gosh, look at them go. They are really, oh my word. They're having a good time. They're hanging from trees. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that look. Oh, brother, you guys, these are beautiful pictures. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up his being king and where the wild things are. See, they're all sleeping. Oh, but the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. What an imagination. Isn't this a beautiful book? Yes. All right, so after that one, I'm going to show you the winner. I'm not going to read it right now, but this is the winner. And the illustrations are so different from all of the illustrators. This one is the winner from 1967, Sam, Bangs, and Moonshine. Okay? And look at this one compared to the others. Look at the different pictures. Very neat. Okay? So that one is there. But also, now believe it or not, I know you can't believe this, but I have two, and I know I have these books. I have another Tasha Tudor book called One is One, and that was the honor book in 1956. And then in 1961, there was Babushka and the Three Kings. I still might be able to find those, and sometime I will show you those. All right, for my final one, I am going to read, not my final, next to the last one, I'm going to read One Fine Day, and again, it is an award winner. It was from 1971, and it was written and illustrated by Noni Gregorian. It is a signed book. Again, remember my mother did things like that. I mean, okay, see? Signed book. I know. And it is a beautiful, beautiful book. Again, you just aren't going to believe how pretty this is. It's kind of a folk tale. Okay, here we go. Well, one fine day, a fox traveled through the great forest. When he reached the other side, he was very thirsty. Well, he saw a pail of milk that an old woman had set down, and as she gathered wood for her fire. Before she noticed, the fox had lapped up most of the milk. So guess what she did? The woman became so angry that she grabbed her knife and chopped off his tail, and the fox began to cry, "Please, old woman, give me back my tail. Sew it in place, or all my friends will laugh at me. Give me back my milk," she said, "and I will give you back your tail." So the fox dried his tears and went to find the cow. "Dear cow," he begged, "please give me some milk so I can give it to the old woman so she will sew on my tail back in place." Well, the cow replied, "I'll give you some milk if you bring me some grass." Well, the fox called to the field, "Oh, beautiful field, give me some of your grass. I'll take it to the cow, and she'll give me some milk, and then I'll get the milk to the old woman, and she will sew the tail back on. Okay. The field called back, bring me some water. Well, the fox ran to the stream and begged for some water, and the stream answered, bring me a jug. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Well, the fox found a fair maiden, sweet maiden. He said, please give me your jug so I can fetch some water to give the field and to get some grass, to feed the cow, to get some milk, to give to an old woman, to sew back my tail so I can return to my friends. The maiden smiled. If you can find a blue bead for me, I will give you my jug. Oh, okay. Now he's got to find a blue bead. So the fox found a peddler and said, there is a pretty maiden down the road, and if you give me one blue bead for her, she'll be pleased with you and pleased with me. Then she'll give me a jug so I can fetch some water, and it keeps on going, the whole thing, yes, all the way so she can get the tail on. But he says, pay me an egg, and I'll give you a bead. Oh, no, now guess where he has to go? Yep, has to go for a chicken. So the fox went off and found a hen. Hen, please, can you give me an egg to give to the peddler in payment for the bead and the jug to feed the water, to give to the field, to get some grass, to feed to the cow, to get the milk that I must give to the old woman in return for my tail? The hen clucked, I'll trade you an egg for some grain. Okay, here we go. Well, the fox was getting desperate, and when he found the miller, he began to cry, oh, kind miller, please give me a little of grain. I have to, and then it goes through the whole thing. I have to trade it. No, I kept going all the way down. And all my friends are going to laugh at me. Well, the miller was a good man, and he felt sorry for the fox. So he gave him the grain to give to the hen. So he didn't ask for anything in return. He was very nice. To pay the peddler to get the bead. Okay. To give to the maiden, to get the jug, to fetch the water, to give to the field, to get the grass, to feed the cow, to get the milk, to get the old woman, to get his tail back. And look at, there she is. The fox returned to the old woman and gave her the milk, and she carefully sewed his tail in place. And off he ran to join his friends on the other side of the forest. He decided, no, I'm not coming back. But isn't that neat? So that is a winner, and it's even autographed. All right, so then we're getting down here now. All right, then I'm going to show you an honor book from 1976, and this is called Nona, and it's really kind of nice because for years I read at Little Oak at the Jackson Rancheria, and they gave this to me one year for my birthday, and all the teachers did. Wasn't that nice of them? Yeah, so I appreciated that, and that's a very neat book too. Sometime I should really read you this one. I'm going to show you one picture. This is the talking egg. It was an honor book in 1990. See, look how many books I got from my mother. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, 1990, and I have to show you this. This is really, all right, this is the one I'm going to show you. All right, now you can, there's one leg there, there's 2, 3, you aren't going to believe this. Because this old woman is kind of a witch. So they came to the old woman's tumble-down shack. A cow with 2 heads and horns like corkscrews peered over the fence, and they brayed like a mule. Now, Branch knew she was not supposed to laugh, so it was pretty strange, but she didn't say anything. She didn't want to hurt the old woman's feelings. Next, she saw in the yard, in the front of the cabin, was with chickens of every color. Some were hopping about on one leg, some running about on 3 or 4 or even more legs. These chickens didn't cluck, they whistled like mockingbirds. But strange as all of this, Blanche stuck by her promise and did not laugh. So that is just the beginning. I mean, the woman even takes her head off. And it's very weird. Okay, but it's a really neat story. All right, then, I already read this book to you guys. And remember, I even had the ravens, can't even remember what month it was, but I even had the raven's cloak and everything. And this is the raven, the tale from the northwest. And this one was an honor book in 1997. No, 1994. Beautiful one. Okay. All right, then, just keeps going. You guys, I have so many books. In 1998, an honor book was There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly. Now, this is the one where, you know, it says, she swallowed the spider, it wiggled and tickled and jiggled to swallow the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly, perhaps she died. Then she swallows the cat to catch the bird. It keeps on going. And then it says, she swallowed a cow. I don't know how she swallowed a cow. She swallowed the cow to catch the dog and everything. And look at it, keeps on going. I mean, she gets fatter and fatter. And then finally it says, there was an old lady who swallowed a horse. She died, of course. Well, I just have to show you, because of that book, look how many different things they have done, which I have. There was a coyote who swallowed a flea. And again, this is hysterical because of the illustrations are a riot of this wonderful coyote. Then there was an old mermaid who swallowed a shark, okay, which is kind of neat. Then there was an old lady who swallowed a clover. I read this to you guys at St. Patrick's Day. Then there was an old lady who swallowed a shell, and it just keeps on going, and it keeps on going better. And she goes a shell, a crab, a fish, a gull, a pail, some sand, and a wave, okay? Then, when I was up visiting my sister one time in Oregon, there was an old lady who swallowed a trout, and this is kind of neat because she swallows everything. A porpoise, a seal, an otter. I mean, she swallows them all. Then, talk about funny, this is an old lady who swallowed a sticker book. And so these are all stickers, you guys. I have stickers all there. I know, what can I say? I know, Miss Tasha has too much fun. Then, in 2001, there's another one that I don't think I've read to you yet, but it's a really cute one. Clack, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. That one is really kind of neat. That was from 2001. And here is another honor book in 2011. This one is Interrupting Chicken. Now I have two of these books. I have the sequel to it too. But this one won the Caldwell Honor one. It says, this book is called Interrupting Chicken, right, Papa? Yes, now please don't interrupt the story. And everything, and of course it's Starling. But I'm going to end with the honor book in 1998. It's called The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Stories by John Scalesti and Lane Smith, the Viking Press by the Penguin Group. All right, I am going to read you the title page because it is just a riot. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys, this is... And I'm only going to read one story out of here because it is just, yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, here's the title page. Ta-da, there's the title page. So we have to turn it upside down. Okay. This book is dedicated to our close personal special friend, and then you can put your name here. And that's the people who wrote the book and illustrated. They told you. And then it goes, I know, the page is upside down. I meant to do that. Whoever looks at that dedication stuff anyhow. If you really want to read it, you can always stand on your head. This gives you just an idea. All right, you probably know the story of the ugly duckling because everybody makes fun of him because he's so ugly, and then when he gets older, he comes and he becomes a beautiful swan, and it's wonderful. Now remember, these are really weird illustrations, so here we go. Look at that ugly duckling. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings, and the 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, what a nice looking bunch of ducklings, all except that one. Boy, he's really ugly. The really ugly duckling heard the people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger looking and better than any in the pond. Well, as it turned out, he was just really an ugly duckling, and he grew up to be a really ugly duck. The end. And that's it. Oh my gosh, that was fun. All right, I want to end today with a huge thanks to my mother, Eula Rowe, whose love of books passed on to me, and for her collecting. You guys, she collected all the way until she died in 2004. All of these books from 1938 till 2001 were all collected by my mother, and signed, had the author signed and everything. So there were so many. My only challenge that I have for you is that I hope that you will read some of these books that I talked about today and see why they won because of their beautiful illustrations. So that is what my challenge is for you. And there's so many to choose from. Just pause my lovely thing, go back. Okay, I want to try to read this one, or have somebody read it to you. Okay, all right. That's all that Miss Tasha has for right now. I hope you all are not too hot, because it's the end of August, and pretty soon it's going to be September. I know. Bye bye.